Death and Other Details, episode 8. This episode actually recovers about an hour from the last episode. Last episode, we had the Imogen and Rufus reliving Rufus's investigation. So now we're going to see what was happening while they were doing that. So the blackout is still on in the boat. And if you thought the revelations from last week were big, oh boy, hold on. So let's dig in. So we rewind for about an hour. Llewellyn has just jumped to his death. Well, has just jumped off the ship. We've not yet seen a dead body. We only have Hilda say, when Teddy asked if he's dead, she says, from this height? She didn't say, of course. So Teddy is actually having a pretty tough time with Llewellyn's death. And it turns out that he ended up talking to her a lot in addition to their BDSM sessions. And the last time they were together, he was drinking an entire bottle of 98 wine, 98 being the year of the wine, and just, spilling his guts to her, which I guess made a connection with her that made her sad that he died, for lack of a better term. So Teddy does find the cork from Llewellyn's bottle. And in addition to the corkscrew hole, there is I forget the size they said, but the size of a syringe hole all the way through. They believe Llewellyn was poisoned. I don't know what kind of poison would make you fling yourself off the ship, but not ricin like Alexandra had. That wouldn't make you suicidal. It would just kill you. So, maybe more details ahead. So when Anna tells parents that their family lawyer is dead, he's thrown himself off the boat, Lawrence has zero emotional reaction, bizarrely no reaction. And that sort of apathy comes up when Hilda Erickson gathers everybody into the dining hall so that they're all together, because now there's been another death. She says to Lawrence Collier, "You've never asked for an update or any details or anything, so you're either apathetic completely or you already know." And Catherine comes in and escorts her husband away again. So the Collier family as a whole are really not good people. Like they're not, rascals. They're bad people. So we catch back up to the moment that Imogen walks into the dining hall as Catherine's leaving. Well, actually, just before that, we see the table and we see everybody sort of join Celia and Eleanor without asking. And Layla sits next to Eleanor, which makes Anna uncomfortable, of course. And the conversation starts. Everybody's a little drunk, except for probably Celia. Eleanor has endorsed Anna as the likely CEO, and Celia says no, that when she's done, there won't be anything to be CEO of. And Anna begins to make the case for herself and why she should be CEO. And she lists a lot of really good reasons, and the last one is that she is a Collier, to which Celia replies, "Except you aren't a Collier," letting the cat out of the bag that Anna is not Lawrence's child. And then all of the details emerge and everybody sees it for what it is. She was the miracle baby that they didn't even have to try for. And then Celia outs her informant, the priest, which ruins him in the family's eyes. Trips to the fact that mom's been fucking the fucking priest. Might be the best line of the series. And of course, they piece it together that Anna's father is Llewellyn Mathers, the attorney, the now dead attorney. Interesting. So as all of that detonates, that's when Imogen walks in and says, "By the way, my mother was a whistleblower and you were her star witness," to Celia Chun. And we get the flashback of Celia Chun's origin story when she worked in the factory and her husband, gave her a magnifying glass so she wouldn't strain her eyes. And they started their relationship. The Colliers bought the factory and started using the blue dye. Her husband got sick and died. She got paid off with $25,000 that she used to start her own company, which she has now built into the billion-dollar thing that allows her to buy Collier Mills. I mean, that's in a nutshell. We spent a little more time on it than that in the episode, but that's really it. She had a different name back then, which is why there was nothing on the books about Celia Chun. Imogen confronts Lawrence, and Lawrence believes that Imogen is Kira, her mother. And Imogen uses that confusion to get him to admit that he made the phone call that ended with Kira's death. You know, he called the order to kill her, which now Anna knows that Lawrence had Kira killed. So Anna finds Catherine's body in the pool. Catherine's dead. So there's been another murder on this cruise. As Hilda begins to investigate this murder, the helicopter comes flying in. Rufus says, your backup's here. And she says, that's not my backup. The helicopter lands, and the guy that had been following Imogen and Sonal around the town as a photographer, it's him with some goons. Obviously, Victor Sam's people. First thing he does is pistol whip Hilda pretty good, and then says, gather all the guests, we're going to play a game. And that's where the episode ends. Now, let's take a moment. Shall we? You have a cocktail or a cup of coffee. Let's cover some ground here. So there's so many things. Jules does say in this episode to Sonal that the comms have been hacked like the rest of the ship. Backup's not coming. So that got me thinking. We called from the hacked ship the first time for Interpol. It is entirely likely that Hilda Erickson isn't from Interpol. And that's why the boat's never docked. And that's why we're still floating around in the water. And there's way more around her, but let's come back to let's just go. Lawrence. So Lawrence looks at Imogen and says, "Oh, Kira, right? Nothing works without you." Thinking Imogen is Kira. So Lawrence loved Kira, whether it was romantic or not. You know, he loved her. She kept him functioning. Everybody knew her. Catherine knew Kira, right? Anna knew Kira. Imogen knew Kira. Llewellyn loved Kira, was infatuated with Kira. So all of these people loved Kira and knew her very, very well. Not one person ever mentioned the fact that Hilda Erickson looks just like her. I don't know if you realize this, but it's not just a passing resemblance. It's the same actress playing Kira and playing Hilda Erickson. It's literally the same person. Is that going to have an impact on the story? I'm starting to think it might. At first, I thought maybe they just used the actress because the flashback was going to be small enough that it didn't matter. Now I'm starting to think, I have a theory. And I think that's huge. There's also the thing with Derek's live stream. Derek is the son of Toby, the priest, who we have been told several times about his massive following on whatever social media. That he is broadcasting to a lot of people. He's telling them where he is and what's going on. Somebody should turn up from that. There's, people in speedboats, if not the police, a flash mob. So here's the thing. I am becoming very clear, and it really didn't hit me that this was going to be the answer until Rufus says to Imogen, "What do you want? What have you always wanted? You wanted your mother back, and that's impossible." Well, what if Kira didn't die in the car explosion, that Llewellyn couldn't do it and told her and just blew up a car, and Kira has been Victor Sam's all this time, and she is now on board in the person of Hilda Erickson, hiding in plain sight? Dear reader, that's mine. That's what I think. I'm really starting to dislike Imogen. She is really a selfish person with no real redeeming qualities. And I'm not sure if they're going to try to redeem her or what we're going to try to do. But we're coming down to the end of it. So that's my official prediction, is that Hilda Erickson is in fact Kira, mother of Imogen, and she has been the mastermind of the Victor Sam's conglomerate all along. So let's see. Tell me what you think in the comments. So that's it. I'm Sean. This is Sean's Take. See you next time.